Good evening and welcome to Wheelybins TV, hosted by the Wheelybins Mayhem Republic tonight here on YouTube. We're here for race 5, round number 1 of the official West End Mazda GT3 series. Tonight we are at Road America. It's going to be a big night. It's a very tight battle at the top with the championship points. It's going to be a good race for sure. There's plenty of people out there taking it for the win and there's a lot on the line. Joining me tonight in the commentary box, we've got Pete Davison and Matt Norris. Welcome, guys.
G'day, Dan. G'day, Matt. Great to be here this morning at Road America. Mate, good field tonight. Everyone's out just on their warm-up lap for qualifying. So, yeah, it's good to see.
G'day, Dan. G'day, Pete. It's going to be a great race and looking forward to some competitive battles. Quite tight at the top end of the timesheets already in this early stages of qualifying.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely a tight battle up the top tonight. There's unbelievable times at the top. We're joining the session at the start of qualifying. We've got a 30-minute qualify session. Then we're into I think it was about a 25-lap race. I think it's going to be a big one here tonight.
Mate, it is, and I think we had Shane Evans in practice with a 2:02.23 in 1. Jamie McKnight rolled up in 2. He reckons he owns this track, and by a 2:02.3 it looks like he made tonight. The Panther in 3 with a 2:02.4. Richard Skender is in 4 with a 2:02.5. Then we've got Matty Bow, 2:02.9, and Jason Lee rolls out the top 6 just out of the 2:02s with a 2:03 flat.
There's very quick times around here tonight, and we'll wonder if we'll see a domination of the Mercedes in this tonight's race again, like we have through much of the season.
Absolutely. I'm sure the Mercedes will rise to the top. There are a few other marks in there as well. We've got the Ferrari and the Audi floating around, and there's a BMW there somewhere, but Mercedes is definitely the one that's proving its pace tonight.
I think Joshua's in a Ferrari, is he? In P9 with a 2:03.3? Mitchell definitely 2:03.4. He's in 10 in a Ferrari. Michael O'Meris in 11 with a 2:03.6 in a Ferrari. Craig Anspach, he's the first of the Audi drivers tonight. 2:04.1.
Like we mentioned at the start, it's pretty close up there in the front of the championship. We'll take a bit of a look at the championship points so far. This is race 5 of round 1. So this is the end of the round 1 series. We'll be back in a couple of weeks' time to take part in round number 2, and the guys are fighting it out for some prize money. Up the top just by 1 point at the moment, Jason Lee in the number 1 position. Shane Evans there in number 2, Joshua Theodore in the McLaren. He's in number 3. He's doing great in that McLaren, mixing it up there with the Mercs. In number 4, Jamie McKnight. Mitchell Chapman there in 5, Jacob Knight in 6, Kyle Stokes is in number 7, Michael O'Meris is in 8, Grant Caines in number 9, Bradley Ratu in 10, Brendan Ryan there in 11, Ian Willie in 12, and Tyson McAvoy in 13. Someone who we haven't seen for the last couple of rounds. It's great to see Tyson back out on the track tonight, so see if he can scramble back some much lost points after coming first in the first race of this series. He hasn't been able to pick up any since, so tonight he's going to be hungry and looking for a race win to pick up some points.
He's rolled back in a low 2:03, Tyson has. A little bit different, I guess, when you look at the top 10 points overall for the first series. We have McLaren in 3rd, Ferrari in 5, and Ferrari in 8. So, and Brendan Ryan in 11 in a BMW. So, I guess tonight, so far in the lap times, the Mercedes is looking good, but across the board in the championship, mate, it is tight.
Yeah, Jamie McKnight's just set the fastest time here in qualifying so far with a 2:02.3. That's a blistering time around here. I think that's possibly one of the quickest we've seen, and it's putting some stamp of authority on tonight's race.
It's just slightly faster than the time he was able to achieve in practice, so Jamie's definitely got the pace here tonight.
Still not quite as fast as the Chief Car 17 was in practice.
No, Shane did get it down to a 2:02.237, as Richard Skender's just bumped him down to 3rd.
2:02.8. Good to see Jason Lee is still leading the championship by 1 point. He's had a great series so far.
Yeah, no, he has had a great series, and consistency is definitely getting him there. He had a good run last week, although there was a bit of traffic and some instances where he could have been sent straight back to the pits. He managed to fight it out and got a good result last week to keep some points in the bag. So that was a great effort by him, and it's been great driving for him throughout the series.
I think we can see that by race 1, he was P6, race 2, P3, race 3, P4, race 4, P4. Would have been 1 point ahead.
Yeah, and I think you're going to go down and have a run with the Chief around this track and talk us through some of the difficulties that is Road America there, Pete.
Guys, it's my first time here. Mate, I'll talk to you a bit later. I'll head on down.
Yeah, you did just make your way to this track for the first time, so yeah, we'll jump in the car with you and take you for a spin around Road America.
Oh, I'm excited.
Welcome to the Wheelybins Hot Lap.
Oh, I'm in with the Chief, looking back through the S's around the back of the turn as we come onto 14 to start a flying lap. I haven't been here before, so this Chief's kindly taken me for a burn around Elkhart Lake, Road America. As we go down Road America straight across the start-finish line. 5th gear, still winding it up, still a little bit uphill as we come over the rise, downhill now, down past the pit exit into 6th gear. We're going to top this out. Looks like we might bounce the rev limiter as we come down to turn 1. It's a tight right-hander, back on itself. Oh, he's kept that nice on my side, running a little wide. Very undulating circuit. Come down to 2/3. Oh, not a bad lap again. He's running wide. A little bit of extra road there for us, which is awesome as we're back up through the gears. Oh, duck for the bridge. Down to the Morian sweep. It's down into 5, which is a left-hander down the bottom of this hill. We're back into 6th gear, we're flying about 250 kilometres an hour as we're hard on the brakes. It's pushing me against my harnesses, keeps it tight, runs it wide a little bit again. Mate, I'm not quite sure where I'm going to go under this bridge. Hope Shane knows where he's going. Oh, he's left, runs it wide into 6. We go through 7, runs it wide, tight through 7. Down through Hooray Downs as we come into turn 8, which is pretty tight by the looks of things here. Keeps it tight. Nice work. Duck that bridge again. Wow, we're into the carousel. Seems to be going forever and ever. I feel like we just want to get the foot down, the throttle on. We drive out of the carousel, under the Hawk Bridge, through the kink. We do this flat, little lift, flat through 5th gear, downhill run, down through Kettle Bottoms, up through the gears. We're in 6th gear. We're going to nearly tap this GT3 AMG. And he's back on the brakes for Canada Corner, right-hander, keeps it tight, nice. Plenty of runoff area for us to go a little bit wide there on the left. Down through Thunder Valley into Bill Mitchell Band. Nice and tight. Oh, it bounces off the curbs. Wow, not happened there. We bounced very hard, lost a bit of radio contact. Through 14, back onto the start-finish line, up the main straight as we show you a lap of Road America. Thanks, Chief.
back here to Wheelybins TV. Great lap there around the track. Thank you very much, Pete. On board with Shane Evans. Great track around here. Very nice to drive in a GT3 car.
So I've just gotten out of the car. Yeah, that was exciting. A lot of undulation, plenty of grip. Track's got a lot of grip. But I just rolled out of the car and, mate, that orange and black 027 car's flying. I don't know what lap times it's doing, but mate, it's on fire.
Yeah, some great lap times happening out on the track at the moment. I'll get that right. We also, during the break there, you got a bit of a teaser of our new series that's coming your way. It's the 2018 Retro Sprint Series that's coming up. We'll be broadcasting it here on Wheelybins TV. It's got to do with the old Ford Falcon V8 supercar here in iRacing. It's going to be a round of 6 races and some massive prizes, cash prizes up for grabs for that series. So if you want to check that out, head over to our website, wheelybinsmayhemrepublic.com, and have a look at that, because it's going to be a big series coming your way soon. Let's have a look at some of the times on the track at the moment in the top 10. And Jamie McKnight, yeah, a blistering time there so far, sitting in number 1 with the 2:01.9. That's very fast around here, guys.
Shane's also been able to lower his time with a 2:02.26. So they're getting faster and faster. The track temp, we're looking at about 22 degrees on circuit, so good optimal temperature for making some fast laps. And you can see Jamie's just got a ton of pace in that car.
Yeah, he's a little bit unstoppable. He's just come here to win it tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah, hey guys, sorry I just rolled in. Mate, look, it's partly cloudy out there. I've just got up a bit of a sweat running back up from the pits. Must be low 20s. But yeah, nice morning for it. But yeah, I called the end of that. What was Jamie's lap time?
The 2:01.9.
Yeah, wow. He was flying when I was out there with Shane earlier, but I think Shane's gone out since I've been out of his car, and mate, he looked like he was going pretty quick too.
Yeah, Richard Skender there in number 3 position at 2:02.5. A very quick time and someone to watch. He was pretty quick in practice earlier on as well. A nice time there by him. Wade Michaels put down a good time too with the 2:03.3s to sit in number 4. And Joshua Theodore in number 5, the first of the non-Mercedes car in the McLaren at 2:03.3.
Also got Eugene Burton in number 6 in the Mercedes, funnily enough. 2:03.3 for him as well. And Mitchell Chapman in 7th with a 2:03.5. So it's very tight in that top 7 cars, only a couple of seconds in it.
Yeah, it's going to make for a tight race up the front. We've still got 15 minutes of qualifying though to go, so anything could happen. Eugene was setting the pace there in practice, so let's see if he can pull out another one of those blinder lap times like he did last week at the mountain and take number 1 on the pole. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to replicate it in the shootout last week, so ended up sitting at number 3, but the initial qualifying time was a blistering time around the mountain, and I think it was a 2-minute flat, 0.5 or something like that. It was an amazing time. Blew it out of the water.
Mate, Eugene looks quite calm in the car right now. I'm not quite sure if he's on a hot lap or an opening lap, but mate, the car looks good and he's using all the road. Yeah, mate, he might be on a fly now.
Yeah, he's a very smooth driver when he gets in that groove, and always well renowned for tuning his own cars, even if it is right after qualifying and before the race, or just before qualifying. He'll make some final changes, whether it be good or bad. But does a lot of his own engineering work on that car to get the setups just right, and does a fantastic job, and also shares them amongst the group too. So not selfish in that respect, and helps everybody else out.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch how different he drives this circuit to a few of the other drivers. But yeah, unless he's out there just getting ready for his hot lap, mate, I'd say he's on one.
Jason Lee in 9th at the moment is currently our championship leader by 1 point ahead of the Chief Shane Evans. So a big night for him to get some more points and spread that lead a little bit, give himself a little bit of a buffer as we roll into round 2 of this series in a couple of weeks' time. So give himself a little bit of a confidence boost towards the end of this round.
The Panthers into the pits. Obviously, it feels like he needs a bit more of an adjustment there, guys.
lowering fuel loads, getting fresher tyres. This is all leading into the final 15 minutes of qualifying.
Yeah, Tyson's out there, number 7 so far. He wants to get some points back after missing the last couple of races with 2:03.4. See if we can get some good things out of Tyson tonight.
Mate, I was just on. Sorry there, mate. I was just having a chat with Jamie on the side on the radio. Mate, he's pretty excited. He reckons he's feeling it tonight, and he's definitely going for the win.
Absolutely, with a 2:01.9, he's definitely he's unbeatable at the minute.
Got Craig there, the first of the Audis in the line tonight. He's sitting in position 12 with a 2:04.1. The Mercedes, a very quick car, but it's been lacking a little bit up against the Ferrari and the Mercedes. The Ferrari's taken them for a bit of a ride, whereas these two cars are normally very evenly matched. I'm not too sure when we're going to see a track that's going to advantage the Audi in this series so far. We did think that the Mountain was going to be it last week, but once again the Mercedes was dominant.
Yeah, was it just because of the 12-hour win from the Audi that we assumed that? I think the Wheelybins drivers have really adapted well to the front-engine V8 Mercedes. Much like driving a V8 supercar with just a little bit less grunt and a lot more grip.
Yeah, plus the aids of the traction control really help with getting that power down to the ground. With the V8, you've got to be super careful. With the Mercedes, you can sort of just nail the throttle and the computer sort it out. So it's a bit easier to drive, and our Wheelybins drivers are all over that sort of thing.
They certainly are all over it.
Mitchell Chapman, or Chapo as he's affectionately known in the YouTube chat, out there in the Ferrari tonight, sitting in position 8, representing for the Ferrari. Good on him. First of the Ferraris in the line, of course, there's Joshua Theodore, who's in the McLaren in number 6. So that's they're breaking up the Mercedes party here tonight.
Yes, talking there, Dan. Tyson's gone to a 2:03.1, making that 4th on the grid.
Well, Tyson said he had a low 2:03 in him. He's punched it out there now. Have you guys driven the Ferrari?
I have, yes.
And do you both own the Mercedes?
Yes.
Either of you own the Audi?
Yes.
Yes.
I hope you're listening, iRacing, to the commitment that the Wheelybins crew certainly have with your online simulator.
Do I own the BMW? Yes.
Yes.
Well, I've got the trifecta except for the Ferrari.
I encourage you to get the Ferrari, mate. It's a good car.
It is a good car.
I sort of thought it'd be much like the Audi.
No, not totally different to the Audi. And I mean,
well, big off. We've just seen one of the Ferraris crash.
That's a good endorsement.
Out of all the cars, the Mercedes is definitely the fastest, but I think the funnest car out of all of the GT3s is the BMW. I think is the most fun car to drive.
See, I found the Audi very comfortable to drive. You can sort of settle into a rhythm with the Audi, and it was quite comfortable. The Mercedes I found was very fast, and I quite like the Ferrari. It was quite fun also.
I find the Audi is quite precise, and if you're a technical driver, you can probably be fast in it. I found the Mercedes is a little more forgiving, but super fast. And the BMW, yeah, it's fast too in the right hands.
I think the best thing about the GT3 is just finding that optimal setup. Once you can find a setup which makes the car pacey, you can get most of them up near the pointy end. It does help if it's got a Mercedes badge on the front of it though.
Yeah, it seems to. And that was Skilby in 16 that I saw with a 208 high-speed accident down the back straight.
Well, Skilby, he's a bit of a sneaky bugger when it comes to lap times. He's quick in these cars, although sometimes he's had some bad luck, so he hasn't been able to show his full potential. But we were at Monza the other night in the V8s, and Skilby just surprised us all and put his car on pole, and we're like, whoa, where did Skilby come from? So
threw it at the front of the field, he did.
He just slammed it down like it was just nothing, and yeah, So we've got to watch him because he might be coming back onto a bit of form.
Skilby's another driver that could have the conversation that we're just having. I've seen him in every car except the BMW. So it's interesting that he's brought the Audi tonight, or to the series. Obviously, you've got to run the same car you start the series in for the Wheelybins GT3 series. So yeah, he's stuck with the Audi. As we see a Mercedes off in front of him, or is that a BMW?
A BMW
Mercedes.
of
No, mate, yeah, BMW.
Grant Canes, I think. No,
Oh, Pete Sattler in the BMW.
Pete
Now
Sattler.
he certainly knows how to drive on iRacing. So it'd be interesting to see. He's in 13 at the moment.
Now, as this is the last race in round 1, are they going to be able to change their cars for round 2, or are they stuck?
No, I believe you can change the cars for the next series.
So we'll see if we see an influx of the Mercedes in the next round.
Look, can we say that? But you know, Brendan Ryan's done quite well in the BMW. Dave Douglas turned up in the BMW at one round, and he finished in 8th. We've had Russell in the BMW. He's gone okay. Russell, just trying to see who else. Oh, that's about it.
Speaking of Mercedes, anyway, we've got 7 minutes remaining in this qualifying session. These guys are going to battle it out here on track to take the pole position. Jamie McKnight's looking very comfortable there at the top, though. He's got half a second on Shane Evans, so it's going to be tight.
3/10. Come on.
3/10. 3/10. Righto, you can correct me there. So it's going to be pretty tight for him up the front. We might just, I think Tyson's just made contact and he wants to take us for a run around this track. He thinks he's probably set his time and he's going to take us for a lap around also, and we'll see it from Tyson's point of view.
Oh, this will be fun.
Welcome to the Wheelybins Hot Lap.
Alrighty. Hello, welcome to an on-board lap with mate. So just start our running, make sure the time's nice. Alrighty, so welcome to an on-board lap with Tyson, myself. So here is when I get the best run we can onto the straightaway. Shift up the gears, nice, get it on. Great up here to find time if you've got the toe. Easy through the gears. Looking for a break from up just after the second curve. Down 2 gears, nice and easy on the corner. Get on that outside curve, ride it. Through the gears. Just here on the 100 board. Down 1 gear, nice run on the curve. Using the throttle a little bit wide there. Easy through the gears underneath the bridge. One of my absolute favourite tracks right in Amreica. So braking marker down here is number 2. Down to second. Ride that inside curve. Nice exit. Clean. Up to third. Back down to second for this. Missed the apex a little bit there, a little bit wide. Here you try to drop the throttle a little bit, get back on it, run to the curb. Up in the 5th, off in the 4th. Down to second, inside curb, outside curb. In the 3rd. Yeah, I use half throttle through here, lean off, back on. Short shift to 4th, get a clean exit on that curve on the outside, and right in. Nice up the 5th, just off the throttle for this corner, inside, grab that curve, as soon as you touch it, grab that throttle, a bit wide there. The 6th, and here I use about 3. In the gears, get that inside curve, use all the curves available, go through here, ride the outside, off, back on the throttle. Right outside, guys. Back in a second. Nice clean exit. Perfect. Come up and start, finish straight again. Just like that. That's a good lap around America. It's a 2:05.6, so not the cleanest of laps, but a lap. Thanks for joining me, you guys. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. That's me.
Big thanks to Tyson for allowing us to jump in his car and do a bit of a hot lap around here at Road America. Yeah, he did a 2:05 in that lap, nowhere near what he's doing here in qualifying. So I guess the talking and driving was a little bit distracting and slowed him down a little bit. Still up the top though of the time charts so far, qualifying with 2 minutes 50 to go. It's Jamie McKnight still sitting comfortably up the top there. Few new drivers just joined the server. I heard you talking about, Pete.
Yeah, well, Mikhail's out on his second flying lap. He's put down a 2:07, which isn't fast, but you know it's nice to be able to just run straight out, bank a lap, and he's on another banker lap now.
Yeah, good to see Mikhail here. He unfortunately missed out on last week's race, so missed a bag full of points for his consistency. So good to see him back here tonight. Brilliant looking Ferrari, that car. It looks great, that amnesty yellow.
Yeah, it does look good. And he's a very consistent driver. He's quite reliable. He's a good guy to have around. He's not ideal to have on your tail.
Hashtag Mikhail on your tail.
Copy that. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, we'll actually get to use that hashtag again tonight. We couldn't use it much last week, so it's good to see
We missed it
back.
last week, yeah.
A lot of cars in the 2:03. Jamie McKnight's in 1 with 2 minutes to go. These are the last laps they're going to be able to get in tonight for qualifying. So Mikhail is out there. He's on a flyer. We've got Wade, who may get across the line to start another lap. Mitchell's out there. He's currently in 9 with a 2:03.4. He's on another flying lap.
Yeah, Wade's done quite well actually with a 2:03, putting him in position 6. It's a good effort from him in the Mercedes.
Anthony's just crossed the line. He's on another flyer, and he's currently 15 with the 2:05.1. Oh, we've seen Dale's off in the Audi.
Got me there, guys. Hello.
Go ahead there, Chief. You're on the air, as we say.
I was trying to get a hold of our pit lane reporter, Pete, if I could.
Yeah, sorry, mate. I'll excuse me, guys. I was going to bail out for a minute.
Roger that. Always good when someone just sticks their head in the door. Makes it feel like a real life announcer box, doesn't it?
It does, and it is.
But I had to take my helmet off and everything.
Oh, you can see how much hard work goes in behind the scenes now, instead of just out there lazily around driving, you know, where the work happens in the announcer box.
Yeah, mate. Looks like you're doing a great job in here. I'll have to duck off now. I've got to get my suit back on and get ready for the race.
All right, man.
Yep.
Good luck.
Looks like quality's wrapping up, so get ready for that one, mate. Couple of minutes remaining as the final cars are making their way across the line.
Jamie McKnight's throwing the Mercedes back out there again for another bit of a lap. Maybe he's going to try and stretch that lead for the P1 position tonight.
I have no idea how he thinks he can make that Mercedes even faster.
That's a very quick time around here. I'm not a fast driver. I'd probably struggle for a 2:04, you know, but I would not know where to find that extra almost 2-3 seconds that he's found.
That's a mega lap by Jamie. Hats off to him if he's got that. Oh, he's just run a little bit wide there. Hats off to him if he's got any more pace in that car.
A big thank you to Jamie too, and also his partner in crime, or not in crime, in business with West End Mazda, Adam Dodd, for their support for this series, the West End Mazda GT3 series here on with the Wheelybins Mayhem Republic. Big thank you to those guys for supporting us with the prizes for this series, and we always appreciate having them on board. It's great to also to have Jamie come race with us as well, and he's a bit of a high-profile driver these days. You know, he's pretty quick out there in the V8s and quick in the GT3, so he's definitely got a name for himself as a fast driver.
Absolutely, but he's also just a really good bloke. Jason Lee just jumps up to 4th in a 2:03.1, so he's just relegated Tyson down to 5th. That's a massive time out of Jason.
Yeah, that's a very good improvement on his previous time to get him up there into 4th. Not quite enough to get into the top 3 and qualify tonight, but a good time. Get him up the pointy end of the field, away from the troublemakers down the back, and hope for a clean race.
Still got a couple of troublemakers in front of him in Jamie and Shane, but hopefully the top sort of 5. It looks like the top 5 may break away from that mid pack. It's very tight in the 2:03 margin there.
Yeah, we'll have a quick look at the preliminary qualifying results, providing there is no more upsets to the top 10 in the final minutes, although I think most of the guys have parked it up for the rest of the session. So there with in the number 1 pole position tonight. Congratulations, Jamie McKnight, sitting there on the number 1 number. Shane, the Chief Evans, there in number 2. It's going to be a tight battle from those two down to the first corner tonight. Richard Skender done a great job there for number 3. Jason Lee, as we've seen, just snuck into a number 4 position on the grid tonight. Tyson McAvoy in number 5. Great to see him back here on the races again. Grant Keynes, number 6. He's done well also in these series, and he's looking for a bit of a points pickup as well to get him a little bit further up the championship tonight. Wade Michael, awesome effort, 2:03.3. Joshua Theodore in the McLaren, he's been doing great in that car and showing what it actually can do, so it'd be good to see a really good result out of him tonight, starting from number 8 on the grid tonight. Eugene Blurton, we've seen some fantastic times out of him in practice, topped the time sheets. A little bit slower here in qualifying, but still manages to make the top 10 in number 9, and Mitchell Chapman, or Chapo, in the Ferrari, making it round out the number 10 position on the grid tonight for the race.
A great top 10, the great grid we've got here. Another one of these rolling starts, it looks like, in the quite a way forward in the line actually for that safety car.
Yeah, rolling start here for the race. Get these guys off the grid nice and cleanly.
Mate, the cars look awesome on that start-finish line. Looking good. 25 cars entered for this evening.
Yeah, it's going to be a big field and a big rush into that turn 1. Lucky it's a rolling start, sort of helps these guys give themselves a little bit of space off the start. Hopefully there's no errors.
Just means you're at a higher speed, isn't it, when you do have contact rather than a standing start?
Well, that's possible.
Just hurts more.
Poor guys would have to fix it and get you back out on the track.
Yeah, the panel beating crew are on hand tonight to replace these composite panels on these cars. Got a truckload of them out the back, so there's no excuse for anybody to leave the race tonight. You can drive on by, whack on some new panels and be out on the track in a flash. Although I think there might be a limit on fast repairs tonight, so I think if you've used more than 4 of them, you could be stuck for a little bit longer while we make some more panels.
Made 4 fast repairs, Dan, that's correct.
Also have an incident limit tonight as well, I think of 25, so you need to watch that. No off-tracks, car contacts.
4 fast repairs, 28 is the incident points, and if you reach that, you will not qualify for tonight's event.
As the guys move off under the pace car conditions, the lights are out. We'll be ready for a start when they come up to the start-finish line.
They do as they roll around turn 14 up to Road America Straight.
Under the Briggs and Stratton Bridge.
It's a nice long fast straight this once you get there. Get uphill at the beginning. Oh no, we're still a little bit behind.
Looks like we're doing an actual full lap before we get away with this one.
Full lap under pace car. These guys Does help getting a little bit of warmth into the tyres, these pace laps in these cars, although swerving and braking and things doesn't seem to make a difference. It's just that rolling resistance enough to get some warmth in the tyres and in the brakes. Of course, you probably want to be looking for that fuel strategy as well, so have your fuel numbers dialed right back on this pace lap, save a little bit of fuel. Could be a winner in the long run. We've seen it before.
Absolutely, you want to make sure you're on the right engine map for most of this lap before changing your engine map right before the pace car drives into the lane.
Up under the Corvette bridge for the left-hander. Nice and steady, these guys just taking it easy.
2 into 5. 6.
Count through 7.
Hooray Downs. Into 8.
Shane,
8's a little bit tougher. Those first couple of turns aren't quite as intense as this next left-hander. Everyone's
Shane's flashing the headlights there, so he's in a hurry to get on with it. They come through the carousel.
Mate, everyone's giving each other a little bit of space, which is nice. Mate, the carousel just goes on and on and on.
One of those corners where you don't want understeer halfway through because it's a long way still out of the corner, so car setups is paramount through there.
And there's not much of an exit curb to run out onto, so you've got to make sure your car is positioned quite online.
And considering we're just coming down to the back of the circuit now, everyone's quite tight, aren't they? The whole field's looking good.
Everyone's eager for a race here tonight. Good to see Cookie's joined us as well down the back of the pack. Hopefully we can get some results here for Cookie tonight. You can keep that car off the wall. And
Cookie was a late starter.
Had a couple of shockers of races, and hopefully tonight he can keep that car on the straight and narrow and get a result, get some more points up on the board.
All right, we're rolling back down the back of the straight now. We've only got 2 more turns and we're coming onto the start-finish line for what will be the start of this race.
This is 13. We should see the pace car come in once they're around turn 14.
Mate, the big run up the hill. Everyone will be keen to get out of here fast. Look at McKnight and car 17, Shane Evans. They're still sitting behind the pace car as it peels in any moment now.
There it goes.
See when Jamie holds him, waits for the green. Tries under the cap bridge. Green has been called. The green flag is waving. We are underway for race number 5, round 1 of this Wheelybins Mayhem Republic West End Mazda GT3 series here tonight at Road America. Down the main straight they go, a big gaggle of cars, giving each other some room into turn 1.
They blow past. Oh, we're seeing Audi off. 1 car off.
Out on the grass.
The 3 abreast with the Panther.
Jamie McKnight's already given himself half a second out the front. See him race down under the bridge. Really clean race so far. Looking back through the pack, there was only that 1 car off in the grass, I believe. Everyone else looks like they've made it through fine.
I concur with that. There was 1 or 2 cars that just had a little bit of lock up, one on the grass, but everybody's through there safely as we see some brakes locked up as we come into 5.
Incident down the back there,
Craig and Mikhail into 5.
A little bit of damage there to Craig's car. We'll see if we can get a replay of that. What happened?
Oh, there was car 26 into him. Might have been a bit of net code.
Oh, yeah, Mikhail. We're just watching it on the replay now. Mikhail down on the inside. Oh, he just clipped another car. Hit Mikhail too. Oh, yeah, possibly a bit of net code there with that. And Mikhail was left in the centre of the traffic, nowhere to go. Both of them get those cars turned around and back onto the back of the tail. Fortunate for those guys.
Mate, big field here. We've got, I'm trying to get the Tyson currently up in 5, but no, he's not in 5. He looks like he's in 3.
Yeah, Tyson's in the 3rd position at the moment.
Richard Skender in 2 with McKnight in 1. Oh, McKnight runs wide. Off track nearly. Lost a lot of pace. These guys are going to catch him out of here. Out of Canada corner. We go back up the start-finish line to the lap 1. Jamie McKnight is currently our leader.
You might need to check your replay there. You might be a little bit behind the 8 ball, Pete. He's already on that lap number 2. Way past that.
Sorry, mate. Sorry. I was with a challenge for the lead.
Richard
Oh,
Skender
Richard's just
around.
nudged him. Round he went.
Into the tie barrier.
He went deep there and then had to avoid the back of Jamie and not make contact, and locked it up a little bit, and around he went.
Exactly right. He's got no rear end when he's trying to avoid the back of Jamie's car there and just going around on itself.
Jamie role plays a scene from The Lord of the Rings where Gandalf won't let them past.
See Jamie come out wide, possibly. Yeah, no, there was racing room given, but Rich just turned it around. That's unfortunate. That's setting back a lot of spots now, having to wait there for traffic to go past before he can turn that big Mercedes around.
And unless you've got yourself a quick button to turn that traction control off, they're a hard beast to get turned, so...
Puts the Chief back in 2, Tyson in 3, Jason Lee in 4, our current point score series leader.
Yeah, still in the position he qualified in, so it's great news for him. Wade Michael in behind also, doing a great job off the start.
And we've got Pete Sattler in the BMW. Nice work in 6. Panther in 7. Then he's got Michael in 8, chasing him. Oh, Michael's nearly up the inside of the Panther, a little bit loose with his Nigel Mansell helmet, I see. Start-finish line. He's might have a go at the Panther down the end of this straight.
Going forward with Michael in the Ferrari, sitting right in the draft behind the Panther. It's hard on the brakes, doesn't really have a dive, he doesn't quite have the right position there on the track, and the Panther did dive late on the brakes too. Really covering his lines well, not giving Michael any opportunity to get past.
We all know Eugene dives forward, they're just going to catch the guy in front, so he's pushing hard.
Yeah, for sure. He replaced that rear vision mirror with a whiskey glass holder a few sessions ago, so no rear view mirror in that car. For that bridge, Michael had a little bit of lock up earlier, lost a little bit of time there on Eugene. Now out on the grass again, had to roll out of the throttle. Eugene just gaining a little bit more time on him there. Moving back to Vincent at the moment in the Audi, sitting in 12th position. He's got Grant Caines right on his tail though. Left, right. Grant's going to make the look down the inside. No, Vincent gave him some room and ended up wide out onto the dirt, allowing him to, but Grant didn't make the move, but ended up getting it anyway. Vincent pushed wide.
Skilby just drifted it out there a little bit too wide, found himself in the dirt, and all of a sudden that Mercedes is through.
Joshua Theodore, who was in the top 10 off the starts, dropped back to 16th position. A little bit of trouble there with the McLaren in the first couple of laps, possibly.
I was watching him down to turn 5 on the opening lap, and there was nothing that I saw was quite in line with everyone else, so I must have missed him falling off at some stage.
Good to see Mikhail is back out on the track after that incident earlier on. He's got that car repaired, back out on the track. Dale Lawson also back out on the track after a quick pit stop, possibly to get some repairs, and Craig also another one that's pit stopped to get some repairs done on his Audi back in 19th, 20th, 21st.
Well, I tell you what, Mikhail's got Jamie on his tail, and he'll go a lap down if he gets past. Well, I guess what he needs now is, with the unfortunate, for somebody else to make a mistake and maybe have a safety car.
Yeah, that'd definitely it'd fall into Mikhail's good books, wouldn't it? That's
the thing we've seen before here in the Venom series. We had a being involved in an incident on the first lap and catching a late safety car was the
Oh,
key.
we've got a Mercedes off. We've got Wade. Wade's run wide. He's put into the wall.
Oh, that's a bad place to spin. Oh,
It's just-
luckily everyone gets around him.
Just off the mat, but heavily into the wall. That's big damage. It's a shame we couldn't pull that up beforehand. But more spinning it around in traffic as we're watching the replay. Yeah, not a great spot to be stopping, as we see Vincent also take a little bit of a runaway down the bottom corner also at that time.
Extended line down there for Vincent.
Michael O'Mearos has managed to make it past the Panther. He's up into 6th position now. Eugene's dropped back into 8th. Mitchell Chapman also moving up into 7.
We got a slowing Wade Michael out on. That's because he's won.
Probably got a bit of damage under that car as we see that Jamie McKnight's closing in on the back of Mikhail. Shane Evans there in number 2. He's now 3 seconds behind. Jamie's cleared a big gap there. Tyson in number 3. He'd be happy with that position so far, but I know he'd be aiming for a little bit more. But doing well. Only not too far behind the Chief. Only 1.5 seconds, and then Jason Lee only 0.8 behind him again. These 4 up the front are doing really well. Next back, Pete Sadlier in number 5 in the BMW. Putting down some great times in that little car and making it work. We've just seen Michael O'Mearos come around that bottom corner, also on the tail, and 3 seconds in behind Pete Sadlier and 11 seconds from the leader.
Also seen Jamie McKnight just put Mikhail down a lap, so he's through now and giving Shane Evans the next car in the queue to lap Mikhail.
Brendan McCarthy in position 11. Last lap around a 2:05. Fantastic looking car too tonight.
Mate, these guys are all settled in now. We've got Jamie running away with it. The Chief in 2 seconds behind him. The surprise for me is car 37 with Tyson in 3rd. He's bounced back from a couple of weeks off, and he's certainly back on the pace. Jason Lee behind him.
Tyson's really got some fire in the belly tonight. He wants to get a good result, so hopefully he can complete the 25 laps that's required around this track. We're only 5 laps down, so we've still got 20 laps to go. It's a long way to go, and anything can happen.
And certainly is. We've got the Panther. He's in 8. 2:08.8. Yeah, slow lap. On the tail of Mitchell Chapman though in 7. 2:04.6 in the Ferrari as they come across the line to start another lap.
Yeah, I think Eugene might have had a little bit of a mistake earlier on, which has allowed Michael and Mitchell to pass him. So it dropped him back a couple of spots. So back on the hunt again now. Get these lap times back, with his last lap just being a 2:04. So yeah, that 2:08 was definitely an anomaly.
As Tyson goes around Mikhail. Mikhail's doing a good job there. He's on the pace with these guys. He just found himself back there after an incident. It was very, very bad luck for him.
Brendan Ryan's going to be the next victim for Jamie McKnight here, just on the tail of the pack coming up, and Jamie's going to be wanting to pass him pretty quickly. Brendan had a little bit of an incident already and spent 2 minutes in the pit, so he's lucky he hadn't gone lap down already. Jamie's going to make that short work. He won't be far off the bumper.
How many laps can these guys do on a tank of fuel? You'll have to forgive me, I haven't been here before.
Last time they were running about a 2 minute, this is a bit longer than Bathurst, but I think we got about 16 laps from a tank.
Yeah, it was definitely a good race distance before they started pitting, so Pretty spread out field now. Looking through the top three, there's a bit of a gap starting to form between 1, 2 and 3. Jason Lee is probably the only one that hasn't really moved much of a gap.
Brendan runs wide as Jamie goes round him.
Peter's moved up into 5th position there at BMW.
Yeah, good to see Pete up there in the BMW.
And right behind him, Michael Omeris in the Ferrari. So a couple of brands up there mixing it with the Mercedes.
Mate, Brendan's on the microphone. He's letting everyone know that to go past. I think a few other drivers though aren't quite. You know, it's always, you always want them to let you pass, but you never want them to let the guy chasing you pass. You always want him to hold him up a little bit. But Brendan's doing a great job.
Yeah, that's right. The fate of having to actually let the a lapped car through can sometimes throw off your race thought.
Tyson runs wide.
That as he was going around Brendan, was it?
And a bit after that. You clear Brendan. Tyson's just pushing hard.
Seeing that gap starting to spread, he's at 2.5 seconds between him and Shane now. He's going to want to close that up a little bit. Jason Lee also in behind Brendan Ryan now coming in for the pass. Got back a little bit off the back of Tyson too with that passing in the lap traffic. Guys have really spread out to settle down for the race. As you see Brendan step out into the sand and let Jason through. Not sure if that was the best way to let them through there, Brendan, but he did that job, and Jason managed to make it through.
I'm not quite sure Brendan wanted to go that wide there, Dan, but
as we see Tyson hitting pit lane. Is this a strategy play?
There's an early stop.
It is a very early stop, so this is a play at strategy here. He's I suppose he's got to break the chain somewhere. He was just in a bit of on a train run there with the top 4, so getting in early, get that pit stop done. Will it be a good play, or will it affect him in the end? Interesting.
Also got Mikhail in the pits there as well. He looks like he's clobbered a wall in some way.
Carl's currently in position 20. There's a bit of a train going past there with Anthony, Joshua, into 1, Richard Skinder.
Yeah, Richard after that spin's fighting his way back again. I think he moved back to almost 15th position, moved his way up to 10 now. Joshua fighting hard not to let him pass, and Grant Cohen's in there as well. Ian Willie there in 11th.
There's a run as we go into 5. Through.
Stepped aside, let him through. The Mercedes is a faster car down the straight. It's very hard to hold them off when it comes into some of those long straights, but you can see the McLaren really gets back up on the bumper again through some of these turns.
Yeah, mate, he's all over it. There may have been a little bit of a mistake there, but
He may dive down into 8.
It looks like he wants that spot back.
One of the worst times to be leading is through that long carousel corner. Got to make sure your car's online and give the car behind no opportunity.
it never stops that turn. It's like Phillip Island and Southern Loop. Come on, I just want to get on the throttle.
Yeah, and you've got to be gentle on the throttle too. You don't want to step on it too hard, or bad things will happen.
So they go through Canada, nice little bit of run, bit of ripple strip there to run wide on, which makes it a little bit easier.
Round 14 and back up the hill, not quite as close as he has been in the past, but
We've got Tyson on the back of these guys. after his first pit stop. It's on the tail of Ian Willie in 12.
He looks quite racy back there, so that pit stop will have served him well.
Will he have enough fuel to get through till the end?
Depends on what map he's running and if we see a safety car or not. From the speed he's got past Ian Willie at the moment, I would say he's running a fast map, so he may not be filled to the end.
He was only stopped for 12.5 seconds, so not a huge amount of fuel went into that car.
Mind you, he went in early, Dan, so there might not have been room for a lot of fuel.
That's true too, so topped it back up. Look at some of the other guys that have been in.
Well, Frank Speed, huge crash.
That is massive.
Oh, we've got a car upside down. Dale Lawson.
Oh, just rejoining the track there for Dale.
Shout out to Matty Torkins, who's watching us on the stream, says to say hi to everybody and keep up the good racing. Shout out to you, Matt.
Yeah, good to see Matty's here watching. And hopefully we'll see Matty back out here competing in the near future. A few of Matty's skins are running around tonight. Never a surprise, he does really good work. Mate, it's unfortunate a couple of Audis broken in that last incident.
Yeah, it's dropped a few of them out. But Eugene's had a bit of a win here, I suppose. He's moved up to position 5 now with those guys taking that early pit stop. See what the strategy is for our race leader. We're on lap number 10 now. So they will be starting to think about what sort of a strategy to the end.
Jamie's still pushing hard. Certainly stamping. Mate, the headlights are flashing. He thinks he's on a flying lap. He's pushing hard.
He did a 2:02.5 last time, 2:02.8 last time around. His best so far in this race is a 2:02.5, so definitely still getting the quick lap times. So we're looking at 10 laps, 25 lap race here tonight. We're nearing the midway point. Will this be just a one-stop race, or will we see have to put a splash and dash in at the end? Maybe Tyson's calculated for that splash and dash towards the end.
Yeah, mate, Jamie's certainly pushing still. So that car's got some good pace if he's still running around with a 2:05.8. Let's see what he does this lap.
On the time I'm seeing, Tyson's about 49 seconds behind Jamie here, so he's really going to need to get some fast laps in and close that gap if he's got any chance of jumping Jamie in the pit stop.
Well, the average transit time through here is around about 45 seconds through pit lane with the stop. Some of those stops, you know, between 47 and 37 seconds, depending on what they're getting done. So,
sorry guys, Jamie just punched a 2:02.7. Shane with a 2:03.2. Well, we've got Vince Skilby's run wide in the Audi. Jason Lee in 3 with a 2:04.1 his last lap. He's 12 seconds behind Jamie.
Vincent's also been in for a quick pit stop too. He went in there, he was only stopped for 1.5 seconds, so a little quick repair possibly on that car. No fuel.
Currently running down in 23rd there for Vincent, so quick repair, bit of fuel to get back out there. Peter Sadler's up into 4th in that BMW.
Yeah, great drive from him so far tonight. Represent for the BMW, good to see. Mitchell Chapman up in the number 5. Good race for him so far. These pit lane strategies don't play out for the other guys. He'll have a strong finishing result. He's there on the lead, still on the same strategy as the leaders, so it'll be a good
Oh, he's just
Oh.
Mitchell Chapman. You just talked him up, and then he's just spun.
Did that was commentator's curse, unfortunately. I do apologise, Mitchell. Catch that spin. We always catch the bloopers here on Wheelybins TV, but I do apologise for that one because you were doing quite well. Drop back to 7th now.
Before he spin there was a Ferrari train there with the out of position Mikhail, Mitchell, and then Michael Amaris in the other Ferrari. So there's a bit of Ferrari pack going on there for a little bit.
As we see, Shane Evans is in the pit.
This is
Gotta
expected
kick
from
both of
Shane.
them.
He does take those early pit stops to try and get that bit of an overlap, which is the prize where Tyson dived in so early. I thought he might have been pulling a bit of a strategy, but
Wade's car is smoking. Wade's got a broken car. He's trying to get around to the pits.
oh, big damage done to that one. See what we can find in the replays there of what happened to there.